Hey everybody, welcome to another build review. We're going to be reviewing this Oriental Palace by RuruSneth and Axio. It is a two-person build, and we're going to be starting here at the main gate. Let me just turn around and look at this. Look at this thing. So we'll probably just walk through the whole build. I'll fly back first and get a look at it from a distance so you can kind of see it. It's not too big, but it does have a little bit that we can go and walk around to look at. So we'll just start here and start walking through it. Newt, where did you go?
I was trying to find you.
I'm at the gate. But this is the start of the build. This is where you have to start. It's the entrance to the whole thing. So as we stroll through, what's the first thing that you notice? The first thing I notice is these
Is the
adorable
swans.
lamps. Oh, the swans.
Oh.
Well, these lamps are really cute. I like the banners on them. And then the
Yeah.
swans. The swans are very cute as well. I love this
Yes.
design.
I know, it's really
I
nice.
I never think to use carpet for things like this. So that's very good use of carpet.
A little duck.
It's a swan. And isn't a baby swan called a cygnet?
I don't know.
I think so.
I've never heard of that
I think so.
word in my life.
I'm pretty sure I'm right. Oh, I really do like how they did the colored glass in the pond too. I really
Yeah.
like that style. And notice how there's even green glass mixed in there.
Mm-hmm.
Looks
Almost
really
gives
pretty.
it like a mossy look towards the bottom.
Yeah, it's cool. You don't see it used very much. At least not the different colors. I've seen people do layered glass, but I don't typically see color mixed in. I don't really use it much myself, but maybe that's just because I haven't had much opportunity to. I don't typically
Mm-hmm.
build lakes and ponds, but when I do, I like to use the glass. And we'll continue on our journey. Oh, I wonder why this is just me being weird, but I'm kind of lazy. I don't want to have to jump on every part. Where's the slabs? I need the slabs for an easier path. But I don't know if this is really meant for players to walk around. It's really a bigger build, so it could just be
Yeah.
for show. So I'm just being silly when I say that. Just being lazy.
Red flag. You gotta be able to walk.
Gotta be able to walk. Oh, but look, there's a staircase here. Can walk up this.
Oh, you look so tiny. All right. This looks really nice. I like this. It's very busy. It's a very busy build.
Yeah, I don't know much about Oriental style, so what do you think of this structure as a whole? Because I know you're more familiar with it than I am.
Okay, so with Oriental, this is more of a preference, but with the Oriental, less is more. If you look at actual Oriental structures, they are not this detailed. I mean, this is good. I like this. I used to build very busy as well, so it's not a bad build. I just think it could be a bit less busy.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps, yeah.
Some of these other builds, for instance, this one down here,
Where are you? Which one are you
it
looking at? The second
uh
biggest one or the...
just TP to me. I'm right behind you. Um, it's not as busy. It's still a bit busy, but it's not bad. If you were to keep this same exact detail, well, not the same exact details, but this amount of details with other
Mm-hmm.
buildings, I think it would be a bit better.
The roof does look a little messy though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that's about. Unless it was intentional.
I think he added a bit more details here because it's like the center building, so he wanted it a bit more extravagant, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
just to stand out a bit more than the other buildings. Because the one beside it is almost the same like
Mm-hmm.
size.
Now, I'm not for sure, but it looks like because this is two different people that built this, I can almost
Mm-hmm.
identify, I think, which buildings were done by one person and which were done by another. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not positive, but it looks like these two biggest buildings are done by two different people based on the
Mm-hmm.
details and how it's laid out. This one looks a little cleaner and the details stand out better because they're not as noisy. And then this
Yep.
building is a lot noisier. So they definitely have different build style to them. I prefer this style, the smoother
Mm-hmm.
one. But all that being said, they still go well together. They're still using similar color palettes, so they don't look like they mismatch.
Yeah, I was just thinking the block palette. You could just tell distinguish between the two builders probably just by that.
Mm-hmm. Well, just the shape of the roofs too, and overall
Mm-hmm.
detailing, you can tell that it's two completely different styles, but they still kind of blend together
Yeah,
and look
yeah, yeah. They
similar.
work well together.
Oh, I was gonna comment on all of these heads in the front. I don't know what they're supposed to be. I know they're not supposed to be heads though, but they're everywhere. And it's just kind of funny. Also, we've got some more swan statues up here, just
It's
like the
the head
swan on
shrine.
the lake. I really
Mm-hmm.
like these. This is such a cute design. I don't have a design for swans this cute. I don't think any of the buildings have interiors that I'm seeing, which is fine, because I don't think that's the purpose of this build is to have interiors.
There's a random birch door here.
Where?
If you TP to me.
Oh wait, I see you. Maybe, does this have an interior? It doesn't even have a
Uh
ceiling, but it's got windows and it's got a door.
Okay, I can't really say anything about it because I don't do interiors myself when I build large scale builds.
Does this building even have a door at all? I don't see any door on this one. So you got
Oh.
the doorless building, the building with the teeny tiny door, and then the buildings with the giant doors. Oh, let's talk about, since I'm walking around here, let's talk about these custom trees. They're not the worst custom trees I've seen, but they do look very, very bulky, especially these cherry blossom ones. The
Mm-hmm.
trunks look really, really thick all the way up. And I think it would have been a huge improvement just to have those thinned out and cleaned up. They do look a little noisy too. Well, nothing wrong with the noisy leaf patterns, but the branches themselves look kind of noisy, and I can't tell where the branches are going. They just
Yeah.
look like they're all tangled together, at least for these trees. These other
Mm-hmm.
smaller trees are a little bit better. They don't look as bulky, and I think some of them have fence branches and some of them don't. I prefer fence branches because it makes the branches look thinner. Now, I'm not saying that there is one set way you have to build trees because I'm not
Yeah.
going to say that there's only one way to do art. That Minecraft is art and there's an infinite number of ways you could do it. These are just some things that I'm noticing that might look better. So using thinner, making the branches thinner using different blocks. Also, I think dark oak fences would have matched the spruce wood better for
Yeah.
the trunks.
Yeah, just a darker block.
Mhm.
Well, comparatively, I do like the cherry blossom trees. I think they spent more time on this rather than the oak trees here.
Well, they are bigger.
Mm-hmm. But still, I think they could have. I think what happened is they just threw these together just to have some trees around. Um, Not to say these are terrible trees. They're definitely better than just like a normal sapling tree or no tree at all. But I do think they spent more time on these cherry blossom trees.
So the trees aren't bad, but they could have spent a lot more time on it and it would have looked a lot better. But that's true for any
Mm-hmm.
build, really. Cuz
Yeah, the more time you put in, the better it'll be.
yeah, and I don't really know what the purpose of this build is. I don't know if it was supposed to be a quick one or, just for the sake of doing it. I don't know. People have different reasons for building. And with me, I'm just such a perfectionist that I can spend over 100 hours on a build and still be dissatisfied with it. But, it's just people are different. I do like the terrain a lot. Not so much the texturing. I don't care for the noisy texturing. It just looks a
Mm-hmm.
bit messy. But I do like the rocks. I like the white mixed in with the gray on the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like that. I don't know. I just like how it looks. I like all those rocky areas, how it mixes with the grass. The path could probably also be cleaned up a bit so it wasn't so noisy.
Yeah.
Um,
I think overall just the texturing could be a bit more smooth.
mhm.
But yeah, I agree with that. I do like the white on gray.
So let's talk about the dragon now, since that is
Oh
the
man.
organic of the build. The best part is the dragon.
Yes.
Why does he have such a tiny tail? It's one thing I've noticed. I don't know what these dragons typically look like, if how big the tails typically are, but this one just looks really
Well,
tiny.
I think the size is correct. It just needs to be a bit wider.
Oh.
Yeah, I think this needs to come out a bit. The sides of it.
Mm-hmm. I really like the shape of the dragon, how it twists around. The front part is my favorite part with the little S bend and it curves around. I just like it a lot.
Yeah, it's really nice. I like it as well. Um, the thing that I don't like necessarily is right here. If you can TP to me,
I
or
see
if you're
you.
close. All right. It's straight right here, and then it goes into this big curve. I
Mm-hmm.
think if it was more of a gradual curve into the big curve, that would look more natural to me.
So instead
Cause
of this being a sharp turn at the bottom here, it would go maybe following like the path of my character go here and up, like just more gradually going
or
up.
more so if you
Or
look at
even this
me,
top one.
and let me set my speed a bit slower. So, like you can have it kind of straight, but just have a slight curve so it doesn't look almost like it broke his back or something.
Are you talking about the shape of the body itself, or are you talking about the twisting motion of the body? Because those are two different things.
The body, like how it just goes straight down. Like
I
it's
think I think what could help it a lot is see if you look at the gold part and how it's all
mhm.
on top of the body. What could probably help is if you took that and twisted it around like the
Yeah.
body was twisting. I think that would help. Is that what you're talking about?
No, that's not what I'm talking about, but that would help a lot as
It
well.
is kind of funny how the whole dragon is perfectly with the back up, perfectly straight with
Mhm.
the belly down, the back up. If you can call that the belly, I don't know what it's called.
The
um,
underside.
the best part of the dragon though is the face, the head. I really really like the head. It's got nice
Yes, it's very
details.
detailed.
The
Mhm.
eyes are supposed to be facing forward, but that's just a nitpicky thing. I mean, it would be the correct thing to do to have the eyes facing forward, but it still looks nice as it is.
Mhm.
I also really like the texturing on it, especially from the front. You can see all of the different scales on it, but I really
Mhm.
wonder how this was textured because it looks very uniform, almost like it was pasted with an image. And when you
Mhm.
come around to the side here, you can see the texture is stretched across so that it looks like stripes from the side. It doesn't look like a scale pattern anymore. It just looks like stripes. And
Yeah.
and you can only see that scale pattern when looking at it from these particular angles, which I think is kind of funny. Even when you're looking at the dragon from on top of his head, you can see these stripes going across. So I don't know what they did to texture it, but it's very noticeable that the scales are only scales from certain angles.
Mhm.
So they
Yeah.
probably could have done at least the parts that aren't whatever they did for those parts. They could have done the side parts maybe by hand to fix it up or
Mhm.
something. I'm not sure. I like to texture by hand because I have more control over it. but it also does take a lot longer to do that.
Also, I think what would help with the scales is if they had the actual body a bit darker than they have it, just so it can distinguish the scales a bit better. Because right now, sometimes it's hard to tell if it's a scale or if it's a detail, a part of the body, you know?
What it looks like to me is that the whole body is covered in scales. There isn't really
Yeah.
much extra texture or different texture underneath. Oh, by the way, I do want to just mention this real quickly. When we pasted in the world, there was a lot of concrete powder that fell everywhere off of the dragon. So there's big holes in it where there's missing chunks of blocks, but that's because of the concrete powder that fell everywhere, and we tried to clean it up as best we could. So the dragon is missing some pieces to it, but that's not a critique. That's just we don't know what happened. We couldn't get it to paste without the concrete falling, so
Yeah.
that's why I never build with concrete powder. I'm just too scared about that.
I don't think there was any concrete powder or like sand or whatever that fell from the jaw here or the chin.
I don't know.
If not, then I think this could be shaped a bit better. Part of me wants to think that some did fall because it's like big chunks missing.
Yeah, it does look really unnatural to have it shaped like that. I don't know. So there might be parts of this dragon missing that we're just not aware of. I
Yeah.
did try to go back and look at, they have a time-lapse video. I tried to watch it and see if there was much of a difference in that dragon, but I couldn't see all of the details under the head like that to see if there was something missing here. But it's okay. It still looks fine.
Yes. With all that being said, for all of the parts missing and assuming the chin is missing some, it still looks really nice.
Why does it have a tooth way over here past the jaw? Why is
Is
there
that like a
right here, this tooth right here? Why does it have teeth way back there? I'm just wondering. I don't know if that's normal.
I don't know.
Oh, there's another one on this side. I don't know if there was supposed to be concrete powder here. Maybe there was.
Oh, possibly. Oops.
Yeah, I don't know. But even if the concrete powder was there, I don't understand why the tooth is sticking out that much from the mouth, but it still looks good.
I do like the flowers coming off this tree. I think he could have refined them a bit better, or a bit more, should I say? Because they're just kind of not together.
They're in clusters.
Yeah,
It looks like they took a brush and just one there, one there, one there, one there, and just pasted with a brush. Why are they only coming out of one tree? I mean, I can understand why they're only coming out of one tree. It's all about the composition of the build. But they could have had a few little ones flying off of the others, so it looked like they weren't just, there was no wind anywhere else. The only wind is in the center. I am kind of wondering why they're all blowing up. The wind is blowing up. Maybe it's an updraft from the dragon, like on Breath of the Wild. And the wind is pulling everything up, including these lanterns.
Or the dragon could have just taken off, and the wind from the takeoff could be blowing it up.
That's true. Maybe that's what it is. If that's the case, it makes me wonder where it was landed to begin with in this little area.
Maybe he was wrapped around the area.
Alright, let's look at it real quick with shaders. Look at that. Look at the stars in the sky. Look at the dragon. Dragon looks so shiny with this shader. Especially the gold.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like the glowing eyes.
Ooh, yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, overall, it's a nice build. If you put more time into it, I can see there's lots of room for improvement for sure, but that's the same with any build pretty much. But yeah, I really like it. It's got a nice composition, nice concept, with just some things to think about for future projects. Did you have anything else you needed to say, Newt? Do you think we covered everything?
I think we summed it up nicely.
And thus concludes this build review. I hope you all enjoyed it, found some tips that were helpful, and I look forward to seeing you next time.